All right, thank you everybody for joining us. Share my screen. Everybody see that?
Yep.
Yes.
Yeah. So welcome everybody to the Old Colony Bicycle and Pedestrian Advisory Committee meeting, our September 20th meeting. Our last one was held back in June. Let's see. If you haven't put your affiliation next to your name in the chat, that would help. We could go ahead and do that. Here's our agenda. We have a good list of guest speakers for today's meeting. We have Peter Sutton, the Bicycle and Pedestrian Program Coordinator for MassDOT, Yolando Spinola, Senior Program Manager with Walk, Massachusetts. And then we have Colleen Peckrell, Bonnie Rolson, and Maggie Burke from Safe Routes to School. And then we'll be going over a few bike and ped projects going on in the Old Colony region, and then discussion on bike ped issues anybody has, and then go over next meetings, and then we'll adjourn. So we'll kick it off with Pete. You can go first if you want to share your screen if you have anything.
Oh, yeah.
I'll stop sharing mine.
Okay. Thanks, Kyle. Yeah, I will share my screen. Kyle asked me to come on today and talk a little bit more about the bike update reporter that's within MassDOT's GeoDot webpage. For those of you who are not familiar with GeoDot, that is MassDOT's data repository website, and it is an amazing, gigantic trove of data, maps, other information that is largely available to the public. Can everyone see my screen?
Yes.
Yeah. Okay. So the easiest way to access GeoDot is just on your Google page, just type in GeoDot and it should come right up. Click on it. And from here, you scroll down to these are all of our different applications: project viewer, road inventory editor, that a lot of you who have GeoDot accounts probably use on a regular basis, updating MassDOT on any changes to your roadways, sidewalks, whatnot. So down in the roadways gallery, click on that, and the first thing, top left corner, I don't know for how long it's going to be in that location, but it's usually right here in this first row, is the bike inventory update reporter. And this has been getting a lot of use this summer, especially at Old Colony Planning Council. I know, Kyle, that you oversaw Nathaniel Ryan. He was your summer intern, and he was responsible for entering a lot of planned bike infrastructure in and around the region. And I can't remember what the final number was, but he definitely put in 2 or 3 dozen entries all around the region for
there's
projects
quite a bit.
Yeah, projects that are happening, which is great, whether they're at the local level or at the MassDOT level. As most of you know, we have several different project streams. We have the standard TIP project, which is the Transportation Improvement Plan. That's usually the 5-year wait list of major projects. We also have the Shared Streets and Spaces grant program, of which the latest round just opened up on September 5th, and I believe you have until October 31st to submit a project for that. And we also have our regular Complete Streets funding program, which is twice a year. So, you know, in any of those three. Also the Safe Routes to School Signs and Lines project, which I'm sure the folks coming up in the call will be talking about later. So a lot of different sources to enter in this info. I'm the primary fact checker, I guess, for want of a better term. When folks on the outside, such as OCPC, enter in their planned projects, whether they're bike lanes, shared use paths, or separated bike lanes, we're starting to see more of those as well. They go right into here, and I am going to provide a demo of a project that is a MassDOT tip project that is slated for 2025 down in Brockton. Let me zoom into this area. It's a whole statewide map, and I'm dealing with some glare coming off my computer screen, so forgive me. Getting it up here. Yeah, this intersection of Summer Street, Grove Street, Lyman Street. There's already a couple improvement projects in the area, but I know this project especially is a big intersection safety project that is happening in the region. And I know that there are going to be bike lanes put in along this stretch of Summer Street between Route 27 right up here and Pine Street right here. So the process is a fairly simple one. We tried to make it as easy as possible for folks, where you just highlight the road, clicking on it with your mouse, and then it pops right up. Pretty straightforward pull down menus, because we're not adding a new road, we're just adding an attribute to it, which is going to be the bike lane. So you click that on the number. As far as street goes, just put in Summer Street. Hold on a sec. The computer already populates the from point or to point, assuming it's the whole street. For our case, it is not. So we're going to go from State Route 27. I use SR for shorthand, all the way to Pine Street, which is a couple blocks away. So that's the 2 point. You can also use your mouse to click on the from point and to point. That is also very handy if your project limits do not actually go to an intersection of a street. I know that some projects end at a particular address. So in that instance, you would use the cursor to click on the 2 point and from point there. The good thing is that it automatically auto-populates the road ID, which is in MassDOT's road inventory file. Here it's N4706 northbound. It also auto-populates the city and town that it's in, which is a nice feature. Very helpful. As far as facility types go, we break them up into 4 different ones: the bike lane, shared use path, separated bike lane, and bicycle pedestrian priority roadway. The last one is an example where bikes and pedestrians get priority over vehicles. Like a good example in and around downtown Boston would be Downtown Crossing, if anyone's been through there. But for our purposes right here, it's a regular bike lane. It's planned, and I happen to know the MassDOT project number. It's right here in MassDOT's project information, which is also a public-facing website that you can access. And I know that this is project 607818. So I'm going to go and put that one in as well. Obviously, if it's a municipal project and doesn't have a MassDOT project number, you can just go into the comments section and just type that in if you wanted to. You could say municipal project, or, you know, safe streets and spaces, or you know, or complete streets, whichever one. Also, this is handy. Funded for construction. We know it's on the tip. If it's just something that you're looking at long range planning, you can click on envisioned. That's a nice way of saying that, you know, there aren't any funds encumbered for it as of yet. It's more long term, but we are envisioning this project to actually happen. And my favorite button is when projects are actually under construction. You can also click on that as well. But for our purposes right here, it's funded for construction. And because I do so many of these, it automatically auto-populates with my name, email address, phone number. If folks in the mass.gis section need to get a hold of me just to ground truth anything such as that. So I'm going to submit this. Oh, and it makes you enter a comment regardless. So if I have no comments, I just put in no, and that does the trick. So you hit the submit button, and then about 5 minutes later, you will get a email from our GIS section saying that we've received your info, and if we have any issues, we'll be contacting you. Usually in about less than a month. We've been pretty good this summer as far as turning around and mapping everything, and that's a tribute to myself meeting with the GIS staff literally every Friday for the past 3.5 years. We've been updating our bike facility inventory, which I'm sure a lot of you are familiar with just because I presented on it so many times here. And here's basically the finished product where we put things into the bike facility inventory. Going down in the Brockton region to that place where we were. Projects that are highlighted in yellow are MassDOT TIP projects. This one's 609410, funded for construction. And one of the great things about this is that it's interactive. So if you want more info on this project, this will take you directly to the public facing MassDOT project info page. This is the intersection improvement work related to Center Street, Carey Street, and Lyman Street. So lots of really good info there. You're welcome to submit anything. This is a public facing bike update reporter. As long as you just put your contact info in, you are all set. Or conversely, if you don't have the time or you're just don't want to deal with the extra added steps, you can always email changes to me, and I'll make sure that they get added in there. So pretty good update there. Good overview on how we keep things current in our bicycle facility inventory through the bike update reporter. And I expect that it will be undergoing a couple more tweaks and revisions. I know that our GeoDot staff is planning a big session for the Moving Together conference, which is happening 2 weeks from today. And I think they're going to unveil a couple new upgrades to the bike update reporter. So looking forward to that too. And with that, if anyone has a couple questions, be happy to answer them.
Anybody have any questions? Yeah, this is a great tool. It'll be nice to see, hopefully, all the bike amenities grow and see this map fill in over the months and years.
Yeah, I mean, it's a not a bad problem to have, but I sometimes have trouble keeping up with the entire state just because that's my purview and I'm responsible for it. Yeah, but we're just rolling out an unprecedented number of projects, short term, medium term, and long term. The bipartisan infrastructure law bill that got passed about 1.5 years ago now really kind of opened the floodgates as far as funding goes. So we're at a great point where we're funding more and more projects. Our biggest problem, as I'm sure that folks on the call know, is just hiring enough people, hiring enough staff to plan these projects, to design these projects, and to construct these projects. I think that's one of the biggest challenges that MassDOT has going forward, is just having enough staff to make all this happen. Bill, you got a question?
How does this, I know the RPA's got some money and the different RPAs are doing trails and things. How does this interface with their work?
Well, I mean, like I said, anyone from the regional planning agencies, if they have funding for a trail that is planned, and it's not on the bike facility inventory, by all means, feel free to send it along, or just enter the info in yourself into the bike update reporter, and we'll make sure that it gets mapped.
Yeah, I thought inventorying was what they were doing, and I just didn't know how. Maybe somebody from OCPC can answer. I think it came from the Trails program, the funding.
Yeah,
Oh, okay.
thanks, Bill. So, maybe I'll jump on that one. So MARPA had a contract with to map trails, but they're in the QA/QC about coming up with common data thresholds on and how to map that right now. And the next step is actually to put the trails into the network. But like Pete said, this is one of the avenues that you can put the network into the trail map.
Okay, thanks.
But I think Pete made a great point that municipalities can enter the data as well. I guess the question I had for Pete was, is it MassDOT or designers? Can they enter data into, like, if they've been hired by a municipality or MassDOT to design a project for the tip, for example, do they automatically enter the information into the updater?
No, they do not. But that is another thing that falls under my purview. There are so many different sources within MassDOT that I use to keep this map populated.
Right.
We have our Complete Streets funding program. We have our design exception review meetings that meet every month, and we literally go over dozens and dozens of projects where we're adding bicycle and pedestrian infrastructure. So that's another big source. Just the capital investment plan, go over that very finely every year. I'm in contact with folks like you, Charlie, and everyone else from the regional planning agencies. I'm always telling people to ground truth this bike facility inventory map. Are we missing anything? Or are there any projects that just made it onto the tip, or a Complete Streets project? So multiple different sources, and I think we're doing a pretty good job of keeping it updated.
Yeah, it looks great. We appreciate all the work.
Yeah, it's a worthy cause for sure, and definitely a very, very effective planning tool. Hey, Kyle, can I plug a couple of upcoming events before I finish?
Yeah, of course. Go ahead.
All right, great. You guys can see my screen here. A couple upcoming events that I'm sure a few of you are planning on attending. The first one is the Moving Together Conference. That's MassDOT's annual conference where we promote the successes and initiatives that MassDOT is doing as far as promoting bicycling, walking, transit with all of our partner agencies, Old Colony Planning Council, among them throughout the state. That's happening October 4th in Boston. New location this year at the Boston Sheraton Hotel. We've outgrown the Park Plaza Hotel, so a little bit more elbow room this year. We're already over 1,100 people. I think we're technically sold out as far as attendees, but if you are still interested in going, there may be some walk-ups on the day of the conference where you'll be able to register and go in. But definitely a worthwhile adventure, as those of you who attend every year know. Everybody is there. It is the place to network. We have great sessions. Just the whole list. There's one on the strategic highway safety plan that's coming out. There's another one about the whole South Coast corridor, how it's coming together with South Coast Rail, the South Coast Bikeway, and some pretty big mega projects down in New Bedford and Fall River. We're going to be highlighting a whole Safe Routes to School session, mega session about the Safe Roads for All and other grants. I know that we asked Old Colony and a few other RPAs to see if they wanted to join, but the project is so new that they were not ready yet. But you know what? We'll probably do it again next year too. So hopefully you guys will be further along, and we'll invite you back to present. So really excited about it, as I am every year. And the other one up in Natick is the Golden Spike Conference, which happens every other year. That is put on by the folks who are the champions of the Mass Central Rail Trail. That's the 104-mile trail that we hope to have built out between Boston and Northampton. This is not only a great event for just seeing the progress being made on it. It's about 60% built now, but it's also for folks that are interested in trail building, hearing about all the successes, all the challenges that all of these individual communities along the trail face. And it's a really great learning experience. It's a great place to network as well. And that's happening on October 14th, a couple of weeks after. So I'll turn it back to you, Kyle. Thanks.
Okay, yeah, thank you for all the update and all the events coming up. Yeah, so I think next, if nobody else has any questions for Peter, we'll move on to Yolando Spinola from Walk, Massachusetts, formerly Walk Boston.
Thanks, Kyle. Hi, everybody. My name is Yolando. I'm going to be sharing my screen here. Give me 1 second. So my name is Yolando. I'm with Walk Massachusetts. We changed our name to Walk Massachusetts from Walk Boston. It hasn't even been a year yet, so it's still trying to just communicate that to others and let them know about why we did that. And basically the main reason is we've been doing this work across the state for over 10 years now, and we just want our name to reflect the work that we have been doing. We very much want to see all communities throughout Massachusetts become more walkable and safe for people. So we made that alignment. Today, I just want to tell you about some of the different work that we're doing to try to make our vision and values more present throughout the state. We've been conducting walk audits, and we've been conducting engagements, opportunities for folks to become those advocates in their communities to improve walkability. We want to see places that are, vibrant places for everyone to walk around, regardless of their abilities and their age and their situation when it comes to how they participate in our society. We conducted a walk audit here in Brockton. I'm actually in Brockton today. I'm from Brockton myself. So I got to conduct my first walk audit in my community with Walk Massachusetts this summer in August. And it was with the Wildlands Trust. They have a youth organization, a youth group here that they convene. It's basically a group of high school students. It's the Green Team. They engage these young people throughout the summer, trying to improve things at DW Fields Park. It's a great asset here in Brockton. And the youth, they help to clean up the park. They help to beautify it and make things better, try to see how they can elevate different resources and assets of the park. So I basically was able to connect with this Green Team, and we did a walk audit, trying to figure out some of the different opportunities that exist for that park and how to make it more walkable and just improve some different aspects of it. So we documented those things. We collected the data with the youth. There was a great community engagement opportunity for them, and for them to flex their civic muscles and think about what are the recommendations that they can make to the city of Brockton, to key decision makers, to improve this asset that currently exists and that's already awesome, but how can they make it even more great for folks here in Brockton and for folks in the region. So yeah, it was around 15 different young people, and we're going to generate a report in the coming months here, and we'll share it out with you all too once the youth have had an opportunity to give us feedback on the report. Something else that we are doing is we're trying to just increase the capacity of folks to conduct walk audits in their own community. Throughout the state right now, we're really focusing on building this capacity in Springfield. We have something called the Walk Audit Academy, which is basically we convene folks in Springfield, we put them into different cohorts, and we onboard them with the tools and resources that they need to conduct walk audits in their own community. This is a great way for us to like increase the amount of walk audits that happens in a place, because once people have the knowledge and the tools and the ability to do it, they go out there and they conduct these walk audits. They generate some interesting data and insights and recommendations. They present it to at an event that we host, and we've done this in Worcester. We saw great success. That's where we first piloted it, and now we've executed it in Springfield. We're in the process of executing in Springfield, and we're seeing some good success there. And it's a great way to generate a lot of important data. And Springfield is in the process of relooking, just looking at all of their streets. They were able to get some funding from the federal government through the transportation grant, just to look at safety in general for their roads. So this is a great opportunity for them to generate some of the data that can help them plan ahead. So we're doing that work throughout the state, and I know folks are thinking about like where's the funding to do some of the work that comes out of these recommendations. There's definitely the Shared Streets in Space grant. You all are probably aware of those things, but I always want to reiterate to folks and remind them to apply and to look at these sources of funding. The Shared Streets in Space grant and has had a lot of success in the past, and the application is currently open. So definitely encourage your decision makers, people in your municipalities, to apply for these, so that we can actually continue the success of this awesome program that MassDOT has rolled out. The Mass Trails grant is also available. It's not available yet. It's not open yet, but definitely it's something they won. We give it out an award every year as an organization. This last year, we gave out 3 awards for folks who are championing walkability and making our community safer for pedestrians. And one of those entities that won an award is the Mass Trails program through MassDOT. And the applications are currently not available right now, but please keep an eye out on MassDOT's website to utilize some of the resources that they have, and to improve our trails in our communities, and to just think about like how pedestrians can have these opportunities and assets improved. And then America Walks, which is like a sister organization of ours at the national level, who champions many of the same things we do when it comes to walkability. They have a grant that just opened up. Visit their website to learn more about it. It's the Communities Change Grant. It's a very small amount. It's not nothing, game changing, but it's a great way to at least pilot some small things, or to start to engage folks around these topics of walkability, or to start to think about like what are some opportunities and challenges that exist in your community. So I definitely encourage you to look into it. There were 15 different grantees last year, and they plan to do another cohort of 15 this year. And I think there were like 3 in Massachusetts that were chosen, or like 2 or 3. So definitely think about applying. Reach out to us if you need support with those applications too. And we can help brainstorm with you, or think about how we can support you in executing whatever you're thinking. And then we are recipients of ARP's Community Challenge Grant. And that's how we're doing the work that we're doing right now in Springfield for the Walk Audit Academy. They are a huge champion of our work. They provide a lot of resources for us to do what we do, to improve walkability for folks regardless of their age and background. And they're in the process of also just thinking about like economic development and how can municipalities improve walkability while thinking about economic development. So they have this great workshop that's coming up. That it's a virtual workshop. If you haven't signed up yet, highly encourage you to sign up for this. It's on the 27th and 28th. Just visit their website and you should be able to just sign up using Zoom. But it's a great opportunity just to think about like how walkability can really like help a municipality address some of its economic challenges, and just like improve things in general. And then we convene folks every month. We're actually convening folks today at around 1 o'clock. It's an opportunity for folks to come from all over the state to talk about like the different challenges and opportunities that exist to improve walkability, or like key policy changes that need to be elevated. This is a quick video and / presentation of our last network meeting that we had, our statewide network meeting. I'm not going to show the whole video right now, but going forward, we plan on recording all our statewide networking meetings, at least the presentation portion. So this last one here was specifically around the sight lines that exist for large vehicles, and how we can improve walkability, improve safety for pedestrians, and improve safety in general on our roads if we just look at like how we can make the changes to our vehicles so that there's better sight lines. So this was something that we hosted last month, and we plan on continue to have these different conversations going forward, and we'll record them and put them on our website so you can watch them. All you have to do is basically go on our website and then click on the statewide network meetings, and then you'll see a list of all upcoming meetings and the past one, so you can like watch. At least if you missed one, you can learn about like what did you miss, and at least get the presentation. This month here, we're gonna cover, which is today, we're gonna cover trails, and just like what are some of the different efforts that exist to like improve trails throughout like our region, our state. So we'll have folks come and talk to us about that today, and next month we'll also have someone come and talk to us about like social infrastructure in general, and how like walkability can actually improve social cohesion, make things allow neighbors to get to know each other, and allow folks to like build some of the civic connections that they need, and how if we build the right environments when it comes to like walkability, it improves our overall social infrastructure. So that'll be on October 18th. So if you can't make it today, definitely encourage you to see if you can join us on October 18th to talk about social infrastructure and how walkability can support that. So yeah, those are some of the different, I'm gonna skip this video right here. So those are some of the different opportunities that exist, like in regards to the resources that exist and some of the meetings and the convenings that we're doing. But we want to let you also know that to support our work and to allow us to continue to do what we do, you can take part in this annual fundraiser that exists called Beat the Bay State. It's also just a great opportunity to get outside in the month of November, get some exercise. November gets a little cold, so it's a little harder to go outside. So you might need that extra motivation. And Beat the Bay State is a awesome opportunity to like compete with folks in a little bit too. If you need that motivation to like compete with folks, to see if you can walk over 900 miles with the group. Basically, that's like the perimeter of Massachusetts. So you'll track it on your own, on your phone, or however else you track your miles, and then you just add that information to a website, and then over time you'll see like how you're doing versus other folks. It's a fun competition. We have different prizes that you can win. And yeah, it's from November 1st to November 30th. So try to sign up as soon as possible. But we'll continue to share this information in the coming months. Sign up for our newsletter just to like learn more about it. But we'll have some great prizes, and it's just a fun way to engage with folks. So yeah, we're doing a lot in the state right now. We're doing a lot in the region. So today we'll have the network meeting. If you can join us. It'll be at 1 o'clock. I know we're competing against a lot of other things today. It's a pretty busy day. I'm also thinking I might want to attend. I think there's a presentation that USDOT is hosting today in regards to equity and walkability. I think Bonnie might be also presenting at that, and I'm interested in that. But if you're interested in trails, definitely join us today at 1 o'clock. The Franklin Park walk is happening today. So we over the course of the summer, we try to have just walks to learn more about different places and communities of interest throughout our state. And we plan on walking today at Franklin Park with a group of folks who are interested in that place and that asset in Boston. So if you can join us, we're going to meet at the clubhouse, the golf course clubhouse there in Franklin Park, and we'll walk starting at 5:30. And then we also have a walk audit that's coming up. If you are in the area, or if you know anybody connected to the Alewife Brook area, so like around near the Alewife T, let them know that we're going to conduct a walk audit there on the 28th, so next week at 5 p.m. And we'll also be at Moving Together. So stop by, we'll have a table and just say hi. It's an awesome opportunity just to connect with other thought leaders and other folks who are in the field of transportation. So that's all I have for you today, but looking forward to hearing what other folks have to share.
Yeah, that's awesome. Thank you, Alonso. Yeah, and OCPC, we're putting together a team for the Beat the Bay State. So we'll be participating in that and hopefully making our way around the perimeter.
Nice.
Does anybody have any questions for Alonso? All right. Well, yeah, thanks again for being here and presenting. So we'll move on to Safe Routes to School. Bonnie, Maggie, and Colleen.
I'm just going to share my screen quick before we go ahead and start. See that okay?
Yeah.
So just to give a quick introduction, my name is Colleen. I am actually one of the newer outreach coordinators for the Safe Routes to School program. I work primarily in the Southeast Cape and Islands region of Massachusetts. I replaced Rachel McCaffrey, who's transitioned to graduate school. So some of you may have worked with her or have heard from her. I am the new Rachel McCaffrey, and I am here with my colleagues Bonnie and Maggie, and we are here to kind of give a quick little update on some of our communities that we've been working with and their participation in the Safe Routes to School program, and kind of what's to come in this upcoming school year. So Maggie, I don't know if you want to start.
Yeah, I can start off since I have the smallest region in the Old Colony Planning Commission. So I cover Stoughton and Avon. Just updates in those areas. Stoughton is a pretty active community with Safe Routes to School. Almost every school is partnered with both Stoughton and Avon. We're really working on getting the high schools partnered. We're new to partner with high schools as of last year. We're developing a high school ambassador program, so it would be great to get those schools involved. Other than that, Stoughton, specifically Daw Elementary School, has been really great with bike and ped education, as has Wilkins. They've also been great with being hands-on with the evaluation processes, whether they're arrival dismissal procedure, or I know they've worked with Old Colony in the past for a walk audit of the area. So Daw is a really great school to work with Safe Routes. Other than that, just our annual walk to school days that happen in October, February, and May, the first Wednesday of each of those months. Most of the schools participate, but always looking to up those participation. So that's all I have. It's a very small area, I know.
Guess I'll go next. My name's Bonnie. I work with the communities of Brockton, Easton, West Bridgewater, East Bridgewater, and Bridgewater. All 5 communities are very active in the program. Bridgewater Raynham Regional School District just enrolled all their schools. I'll talk briefly about each one. Brockton is probably the most active. We've created watershed maps for all of the Brockton schools. Have spent a lot of the summer and are currently working on walking school bus maps for and bike train maps for the elementary and middle schools. We're putting offering pedestrian safety at the elementary schools this year, and bike safety for upper elementary. At the middle schools, we've been working with the bike clubs, partnering with Mass Bike, which has been fantastic, to offer bike rodeos and bike safety in the afternoons. We hope to complete walk audits of the schools and also walk the walking school bus routes to kind of assess anything that might be making students uncomfortable as we try to promote those in partnership with the community and parents. We're excited to be partnering or piloting the high school ambassador program at Brockton High. We're hoping to have a great cohort of students helping out with pedestrian safety and bike safety, promoting flagship events, and also having the opportunity to shadow some transportation planners as we go out on walk audits and walk assessments in Brockton, and hearing their ideas and ways to improve or make the city safer for walking and biking. In the town of Easton, we're been talking with Health and Community Services on ways we can partner on bike and pedestrian safety, both with the schools and with the town. East Bridgewater is very active. We've been doing arrival dismissal observations and pedestrian safety out there. They might, or they've expressed an interest in piloting the high school ambassador program as well. And in Bridgewater, we've been doing, again, arrival dismissal observation and ped and bike safety, at the schools. And then West Bridgewater is a partner. We don't have anything on the books yet, but I'm hopeful. And that's what I have.
And then in terms of the, South Shore kind of region, that green area on the map. So in that region and of itself, we kind of have varying levels of participation with the Safe Routes to School program. Some of the towns or school districts that we see a lot of active participation in, Duxbury has a very active walk to school event. I believe they do every spring, kind of in lieu of what we call our flagship days. They have like a very self-sufficient program that they run, and they get a lot of students to participate in that, which is great. Kingston Elementary School had pedestrian safety this past spring with Rachel, and the intermediate school actually signed as a partner school with the program this past spring. So that was exciting to see some momentum happening there. I do know Plimpton and Halifax are part of that larger Silver Lake School District. Halifax does have a lot of momentum in terms of accessing safe routes to school, biking, walking, etc. I know that they have a pretty robust community approach to working with the police and the fire. But again, not so much with the Safe Routes to School program, but just in terms of their overall commitment to safe routes. Plymouth in and of itself has, varying levels of participation. The Nathaniel Morton School has a very active bike safety program. Their PE teacher there is very active in the Safe Routes to School program, and includes a lot of bike safety in the PE curriculum, which is awesome. Pembroke has expressed some interest in arrival and dismissal observations and kind of looking at some of the traffic congestion that happens during pickup and drop off times. So I do know that we were out there observing some arrival and dismissal. As far as some of the other towns, I think a lot of my work now will be spreading the word of the Safe Routes to School program. I think there are still some communities that might not even be aware that the program is available, especially in those areas where students might not be able to walk or bike directly to school, coming up with opportunities to still have that active transportation in those towns is kind of the future work there. And then just to plug a couple of our upcoming Safe Routes to School events, I believe Maggie mentioned our iWalk International Walk to School Day. So that is coming up on the first Wednesday of October, the 4th. And this is a great way to engage schools, but also the towns in walking to work or school, or even just kind of trying a different mode of transportation than they typically do. We also do have 2 grant opportunities through the Safe Routes to School program. The deadlines are quickly approaching. The Signs and Lines application is due this Friday. This is the smaller of the 2, rounding up to about $10,000 in projects on school grounds. The infrastructure application, you have a little bit more time, with the deadline being the 6th. That one is a little bit more intense and does require some additional maps as part of the application. And then, as always, we have upcoming webinars for anyone interested in learning more about the program. We have one coming up on the 6th of December for educators or anyone interested in learning more about the professional development program. Yeah, so that's kind of what we have as an overview for Safe Routes.
That's awesome. Thank you. Does anybody have any questions for the Safe Routes to School team? I see Charlie just raised his hand.
Sure. Thank you, Kyle, and thank you to the Safe Routes team. I think there's a really awesome demonstration in the region of communities engaging in this program, and a lot of infrastructure projects actually happening. Speaking of that, you mentioned the Silver Lake Regional High School in Kingston. I know there's interest from the communities in that school district to install safety improvements and a traffic signal at Route 27 at Lake Street and Station Street. Is that something that could be funded through the larger capital program that you had talked about?
Yeah, so the infrastructure grant, that one is larger projects ranging from around like 300 to 1.2 mil. And those are more of those infrastructure type projects. So improving sidewalks, or, making physical infrastructural changes, adding signs and things like that, definitely can fall under that infrastructure grant. Yep.
Great, thank you.
All right, thanks, Charlie. I'm going to share my screen again. And my fellow colleague, Sean Bailey, will be giving an update on a couple projects involving bike and ped improvements in our region.
Yes, thank you, Kyle. Hello, everyone. My name is Sean Bailey. I'm a senior transportation planner here with Old Colony Planning Council. So the 2 projects that I'll be talking about today in the region that involve bike and/or ped accommodations. The first one is Project 609520. It's in the city of Brockton and town of Abington. Pedestrian and bicycle improvements on Route 123. Description taken from the state's project website. The purpose of this project is to provide safety improvements on Center Street and Brockton Avenue from a point approximately 350 feet east of the intersection of Route 123 at Lyman and Carey Street in the city of Brockton, and extending into the town of Abington, ending at the intersection of Ashland Street, a length of approximately 2.3 miles. The project will consist of corridor safety and operational improvements for all modes of travel, and will also include new ADA compliant sidewalks, buffered bike lanes, roadway pavement reconstruction, improved traffic operations, and new safety and new signage and pavement markings. According to the state's website, the current status of this project is the 25% package was received in July of 2021. And the second project is Project 612262 in the city of Brockton, intersection improvements at Route 123, Belmont Street, Pearl Street, and Stonehill Street. This project consists of a functional overlay, traffic signal reconstruction, including the addition of left turn lanes on Pearl Street, and transit priority operation, and the upgrade to the bicycle and pedestrian accommodations. And according to the state's project website, this project is currently in the preliminary design phase. And those are the updates that I have. Does anybody have any questions? Okay, thank you very much.
All right, thanks, Sean. So next we'll, if anybody has any discussion for bicycle and ped issues in their community or anything like that, or if there isn't any right now, you can always reach out to me and we can put a topic in the next agenda for the next meeting in December. So we already discussed this, that OCPC is participating in the Beat the Bay State walking competition. So we're looking forward to that. Hopefully other communities and groups will be participating as well.
Hey, Kyle, I
Yeah.
dropped a link in the chat. Walk Massachusetts was inquiring about when the next Mass Trails grant round opens, November 1st.
Thank you, Peter.
Thanks, Pete. Appreciate it.
And similar to last year, the amount has been upped. You can apply for a maximum of $500,000 now for your grant round, and that goes to anything, whether it's feasibility, planning, even purchase of right-of-way. We've had some communities take the money and use it for that. So as well as construction and maintenance. So one other suggestion for when next time we meet, I would love to invite someone from the city of Brockton on and talk about their RAISE grant that they just won. I know it was announced over the summer. I think it was like $7.8 million that they got in RAISE grant funding for even more improvements in their roadway network. So that'd be great to hear more about that, what they're proposing.
Yeah, we can definitely, I'll reach out to them and have someone come on to discuss that.
Yeah, for those folks that don't know, I think there were 3 communities in Massachusetts that got RAISE grants, Brockton, New Bedford, and Lowell. So, you know, great news for gateway cities all across the state.
I see Jess Slavin from Mass Bike has her hand raised.
Hi everyone. I just wanted to flag a couple things from Mass Bike that are coming up that will be happening before your next meeting. So some of you might know that Mass Bike has our Lights Brigade program where we distribute free bike lights to anyone who requests them. I know St. Bronson Schools knows about it. They do a really good job of getting lights out. But if you are hosting an event or you know any local folks who want to distribute lights in your communities, you can definitely point them our way. I know Carver, Mass did a handout last year. I'm not sure who else in your region did, so we would love to have some more folks in your area distributing free lights, as it's now the law. And they can request now, but we're really going to kick that off in October as it gets a little darker out there. And then something else I wanted to flag for everyone is November 19th is World Day of Remembrance for road traffic victims. So it's a remembrance day for people who were severely injured or killed in crashes. That's something that Mass Bike works on with the Vision Zero Coalition. We're asking for municipalities if they want to light up a building yellow in remembrance or do a proclamation. And also local advocates can do their own events, but that's something I just wanted to make sure was on your radar in case anyone brought that to your attention, that they wanted to do something in their community about that. So that's it.
That's great. Thank you. Yeah, we can, we do a region-wide newsletter, so maybe we can put something in there about the bike lights to have communities reach out to you. Awesome. Thank you.
Yeah.
Yeah, so our next meeting, December 20th, and then I put the next few meetings for 2024, March 20th, June 19th, and then September 18th. Yeah, I want to thank all the guest speakers again for coming. It was a great discussion, great topics, lots of great info. And yeah, if there's nothing else, we'll see everyone at the December 20th meeting right before Christmas. Thank you.
Bye, all.
Thank you.
Thank you,
Bye.
everybody.
Thank you.
Thanks.